Dorit Kemsley reveals major change in PK separation. In the above preview for Season 14, Episode 11 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Dorit Kemsley reveals that she's just had a positive conversation with her estranged husband, Paul PK Kemsley. A big deal, as they haven't really been communicating recently aside from an angry, 9-page note PK had sent her. "I picked up the phone, and we start talking like we're friends," she says in the clip. "I'm talking to him, and there is the father of my children, the man that I believed no longer existed." The conversation goes down while Dorit is out to eat with Erica Jane and Bozoma St. John. When Dorit drops the bomb that she's just talked to PK peacefully, her friends are immediately shocked. "No, you didn't. This is a lie. I mean, where is my lipstick?" Boz responds before slowly reapplying her gloss. Erica also can't believe what she's hearing. "The man that you fell in love with?" she asks with a majorly questioning tone. Seeing her friends' reactions, Dorit decides to clarify something. "I don't want you to get confused. Erica, this is not a reconciliation," she says. "This is very much. I asked him, I need you to just slow down a little bit. And let's just communicate. We can't be at war and the kids be oak." But Boz wants her to realize something too. "This is about you and not about the kids," she argues. "You're asking him to slow down because you want to catch your breath. It's not about the kids." While Dorit says Boz is absolutely right, she needs her to understand that catching her breath is about the kids. "Guys, I want to explain it so it's not confusing," she says. "The conversation was a hell of a lot better and different than I thought it would be." Bozoma St. John and Erica Jane warn Dorit about her conversation with PK. Despite Dorit's promises, Boz isn't convinced, saying it feels like a trick. Dorit, however, doesn't see it that way. "No, that I can guarantee you," Dorit responds, "because he's not that person." To that, Erica asks, "So who is that person?" "That's PK raging," says Dorit, before telling the pop star to stop side-eyeing her. In a confessional, Erica shares more of her thoughts. "PK is ruthless. He's ruthless in business, which means he will be ruthless in the business of divorce," she says. "I keep yelling from the mountaintops, 'Hey, you need to take shelter.' No one is listening to me." What did PK say in his email to Dorit? On Season 14, Episode 10, Dorit detailed a shocking email she received from PK, calling it a marriage. "It was predominantly financials," she said in an episode interview. "His expectations were within a month or two that I will be responsible for the mortgage and all the bills associated with the house. There was also discussion of custody, lawyers, and threats of, if this doesn't happen, I will be proceeding with divorce." The email caused Erica to express her concern about the status of Dorit and PK's split. "Dorit, I worry about you. I really do. And I'm sorry you're going through this, but I cannot sit here in bulls with you while I know what's coming for you. I wouldn't be a good friend," Erica said. "You've begged for honesty, and I'm gonna give it to you. You have to protect yourself. You have to go. Hold on a second. The price of poker has completely changed. This is not my partner. This is not my friend. This is my adversary now." The turning point. Dorit Kemsley sat alone at the chic, modern restaurant, her fingers absently tracing the rim of her wine glass as she tried to make sense of the conversation she had just had. The tension from the last few months had been palpable, the space between her and PK growing wider with every passing day. For months now, their interactions had been mostly limited to arguments, long silences, and bitter exchanges. But today had been different. "I picked up the phone, and we start talking like we're friends," she had told her friends earlier, barely able to contain her surprise. "I'm talking to him, and there is the father of my children, the man that I believed no longer existed." Her words echoed in her mind. It was almost surreal to think about how far they had fallen, and yet, in that fleeting moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, something had shifted. But was it enough? Was this a true turning point or just a blip in the emotional chaos that had consumed her life? She felt a tap on her shoulder, snapping her from her thoughts. She looked up to find Erica Jane and Bazoma St. John approaching the table, both clearly intrigued by the news Dorit had dropped earlier. "No, you didn't. This is a lie. I mean, where is my lipstick?" Boz joked, shaking her head as she playfully reapplied her gloss, clearly not buying into what Dorit had just said. Erica's face mirrored the disbelief, her raised eyebrows making it clear she didn't understand either. "The man that you fell in love with?" she asked, her voice laced with skepticism. Dorit let out a deep sigh, realizing her friends weren't quite grasping the gravity of the situation. She had to explain herself more clearly to make them understand. "No, no, no," Dorit interjected quickly. "I don't want you to get confused. Erica, this is not a reconciliation. It's not like we're getting back together. This was just me asking him. I need you to slow down a little bit. Let's just communicate. We can't be at war and the kids be okay." Her words hung in the air, but Boz wasn't convinced. "This is about you, and not about the kids," she countered, her tone serious. "You're asking him to slow down because you need to catch your breath, not because it's best for the kids." Dorit paused for a moment, contemplating Boz's statement. It stung, but it also felt true. "You're absolutely right," she said softly. "But catching my breath is about the kids. I need to be in a space where I can think clearly for them. We need a break from all the fighting. We need peace, for their sake." Erica tilted her head, watching Dorit closely, her eyes sharp as always. "I just don't want you to fall for his tricks," she said, her tone warning. "PK can be ruthless. He's ruthless in business, so I wouldn't put it past him to be ruthless in divorce too." Dorit wasn't ready to accept that. She shook her head. "No, I can guarantee you that," she said, the conviction in her voice louder now. "He's not that person anymore. At least not in this conversation. It was different." Boz raised an eyebrow. "Sounds like a trick," she muttered under her breath. Dorit's lips pressed together as she tried to convey her point, her frustration with the constant negativity from her friends beginning to build. "It wasn't a trick," she insisted. "We've had our share of battles, but this was different. This time, we both wanted to talk. We both wanted to understand each other. It's not about us anymore. It's about what's best for the kids." Erica leaned forward, her gaze never wavering. "And who exactly is that man you were talking to? Who is he when he's not raging, as you put it?" Dorit exhaled deeply, realizing just how complex the situation had become. She had known PK for so long, through all the ups and downs, and for a while now, it had felt like he was a completely different person. But in that moment on the phone, she had seen a glimpse of the man she had once loved. The man who had been there for her in the beginning, before the money troubles, before the arguments, before everything had fallen apart. "That's PK raging," she said, her voice bitter with the memory of his fury. "But he's also the man who used to be kind, who used to laugh with me. I can't forget that. I won't." Erica sighed, clearly not buying the optimism. "I'm just saying, you need to protect yourself, Dorit," she said, her voice softer but no less firm. "PK's not playing fair, he's playing to win. And if you think this conversation is him trying to make peace, think again." Dorit sat back in her chair, trying to make sense of everything. She had begged for honesty, had begged for someone to tell her the truth, even if it was harsh. And Erica, ever the blunt one, had done just that. But the question remained, was PK really trying to change, or was this just another round of manipulation? In a confessional interview, Erica's voice echoed once again. "PK is ruthless. He's ruthless in business, which means he'll be ruthless in the business of divorce. I keep yelling from the mountaintops, hey, you need to take shelter. No one is listening to me." Dorit felt the weight of Erica's words. She had always known that PK could be tough, especially when it came to business. But she hadn't realized just how much that ruthlessness could extend into their personal lives. Divorce wasn't just about splitting assets and deciding who got the house. It was about power, control, and the games people played to come out on top. But there was still part of her that refused to believe it. PK wasn't perfect, but he had been her partner, her equal. They had built a life together, a family. Couldn't there still be something worth saving? Her mind wandered back to the email PK had sent her, the one she had described as a barrage of accusations and demands. It had been full of financials, mortgages, bills, custody arrangements, and threats of divorce if she didn't comply. He had laid out his expectations with cold precision, as if their years together had meant nothing. The email had been a brutal wake-up call, but it had also been a turning point in its own way. PK had made his intentions clear.